Hello YouTube, this is Debt Free Cars with another episode of the 2006 Toyota Highlander Hybrid SUV, purchased for only $500. Today I ran into a huge issue with the radiator and the radiator fan. Normally this would be a $100 job and it would take no more than 30 minutes. But follow this video, watch this video, and find out what happened. Also, be sure to subscribe and like this video if it really helps you out and you enjoyed it. Thank you. So, it all started when I took out the radiator fan assembly to make room for the engine removal and replacement. So when I took the radiator fan out, the radiator fan blade actually fell out and was completely disconnected from the motor assembly itself. So normally not a big deal. You buy a new radiator fan assembly for about $100, $150, and you install it. However, because this is a Toyota Highlander Hybrid, the radiator fan was unusually rare. So this is a photo of it from the backside. This is a typical radiator fan of this generation, which actually has two radiator fan controllers instead of the temperature sensor that's on the engine. It actually has a sensor directly on the radiator fan assembly. In addition, this one actually includes the reservoir tank attached to the radiator assembly itself, so it makes it extra difficult and rare to find. So I checked on all the Toyota dealerships. They have discontinued this item. It's not available, and there's no aftermarket assemblies available. So what happened? So the radiator actually sprung a leak over here on the right side of the radiator. You can see where the pink spot is at the lower right corner. It actually probably started where the plastic plastic pieces that cap the radiator. So it sprung a leak, and then the radiator fluid and the coolant, which is pretty much just water, got into the electric motor and it began shorting it out. It actually started working okay, but what happened was the water eventually rusted out the magnets inside, rusted out the contacts, and you can see the plenty of rust and actually copper rust that's around this motor. So my solution was, if I couldn't get the assembly, I would just replace the motor and the fan blades themselves. Not as easy as I thought. Again, because it's a hybrid model, the fan motor was unusually large and was much taller than normal. The fan blade itself, the one that broke was actually the 7-blade fan blade, as opposed to the 5-blade, which is on the left side. So this is the right side. You can see the center of the spoke that attaches to the motor itself broke. This fan blade itself, the center plastic piece, is larger than a typical radiator fan. So I'll go ahead and list the part numbers I found for the motor, for the radiator fan blade, and also the model number of the radiator. The radiator was actually much easier to find. So here's the listing of the engine cooling fan shroud, discontinued. I also have the listing for the motor and the right fan blade. That one is doing pretty well. One item to note that some of you may be tempted to take a look at similar radiator fans that look very similar but are not the same. This one is a very similar radiator fan assembly from a 2006 Toyota Sienna minivan. This unfortunately is not the same, because although it has the reservoir and the fan seems to work out, it's actually a smaller motor and the fan controller module, there's only it shares one control module for both fans, which as the Highlander Hybrid actually has two separate fan modules. This is the listing for the fan blades, both the right and the left side. The most common one that fails is actually the right side. I've seen it quite a bit. A lot of junkyards I've called have told me that that's the one that fairly fails pretty often. So if you have a Toyota Highlander or a Lexus rx400h, which actually shares the same engine components, this is going to be your problem, and be sure to get ready for it. Here's a model of the fan blade with the part number on here. It's a 7-blade version on the right side of the radiator. Another option here is if you go on eBay or any of these websites, you could find one, a radiator fan motor with the same part number, but made by an aftermarket manufacturer. This is one of them. Of course, make sure the connector is correct. This is it's a very simple two-prong connector. One's just positive and one's negative. This is the connector that goes into the fan control module. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Debt Free Cars. Stay out of debt, pay cash for cars. Debt Free Cars is here to help. Please subscribe.